Hello and welcome to Redzone Endzone. I'm your host, Peter Wilonic. This is the Week 8 predictions. I got Aaron on my left, Jake on my right. Let's get into it. We have the Seahawks at Falcons. I got the Seahawks winning because the Falcons have not been looking too hot recently. Leo Jones recently gave his locker room speech at the end of the game, stating how it's not Coach Hughes' fault, saying how it's not his fault, it's the players' fault that they have not been capitalizing, and it's their time to show up for him. I think that could maybe bring a burst of energy, but I don't think that's going to be enough to defeat the Seahawks. Obviously, it could change depending on what happens, but I got the Seahawks winning. The Falcons fans normally don't really show up at home games anymore. They kind of gave up, so no real support there. I got the Seahawks winning easily.
Yeah, I'm picking the Seahawks as well. The Falcons' defense is not looking good, and the offense is just not looking good either. They're just choking away everything. So Seahawks are gonna win it.
This Falcons team is one that's really frustrating me. It has potential. Defensively, like they said, they are not doing pretty good. They've let up a ton of points to a lot of subpar teams, and then you got Russell Wilson coming down there to a stadium that doesn't have that much support from their fans. Yeah, Julio Jones had that speech. Yeah, it's gonna start we're going to start trying to get players to do good there, or at least that's the whole hope with that speech Julio had, but who knows. And this week, I still got the Seahawks winning just because their offense is going to be too much.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the Broncos at Colts. I got the Colts winning, and the Colts had a surprisingly great game against them. I think definitely brought the Colts momentum up a lot.
Yeah.
They definitely been playing like a different team. Granted, obviously, Andrew Luck is gone. Jacoby Brissett is doing a great job filling in. I don't know if it's because he's a Patriots quarterback, like Jimmy Garoppolo and Tom Brady are undefeated, but maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But yeah, I got the Colts winning because the Broncos ain't riding the horse down the field this time.
Yeah, I'm picking the Colts as well. The Broncos are not a good team. Joe Flacco has really proven how unelite he is. Their defense is, they have a lot of talent, but they're not really performing well. And against a Colts team that's taking down the Chiefs and the Texans, it's not looking good for the Broncos.
The battle of the horses is probably going to be one-sided because the Colts have beaten the Chiefs and the Texans in their last two games. Now they get an easier matchup against the Broncos. Should be an easy win for Jacoby Brissett and the Colts at home.
Moving on to the next team, we got the Buccaneers at the Titans. I got the Bucs winning. I know this maybe comes as a surprise, but I feel like the Bucs, they've been an on and off team this year, like roller coaster, I guess you could say. I got them winning because I feel that they'll probably get up some momentum against the Titans. I mean, the Titans, you got the white version of Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill's better, dude.
I could see them picking up some steam and possibly eliminating the Titans.
Yeah, I'm picking the Bucs as well. Jameis Winston's been a lot better this season. Obviously, he's still showing flashes of his own self, but I still think he's good enough to take down the Titans defense, which is good, but it's not great. And I just think that's why the Bucs are gonna win.
The Titans, they're basically the 2017 Dolphins now. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, Cameron Wake, and Cody Parkey, who, by the way, just banged an extra point off the post last week. They barely beat the Chargers because the Chargers could not score from the one. This week, I think they're going to lose to a Buccaneers team that's coming off a bye. Jameis Winston, I hate to say it, but Chris Godwin, he's been right now the number one wide receiver.
Exactly.
In football.
Okay, moving on to the next team, we got the Cardinals at the Saints. The Cardinals have been picking up some steam recently, but you're coming to the Superdome, New Orleans, right after the Saints went to Chicago and absolutely destroyed them. I don't know what the Bears have been doing this year, but not good, obviously. But yeah, no, I got the Saints winning this one. A lot of momentum, as I said recently. Their offense just demolishes the Cardinals' defense, and their defense would demolish Cardinals' offense. There's nothing that Cardinals were able to do here. Saints by a lot.
Yeah, I'm picking the Saints as well. The Cardinals are a good team right now. Kyler Murray's been pretty good, but Cardinals just don't have, as good a defense as the Saints do. And with the Saints defense being so good and going up against a rookie quarterback like Kyler Murray, I think he'll be seeing ghosts just like Sam Darnold.
So I also got the Saints at home. Still no Drew Brees, but Teddy Bridgewater's undefeated at quarterback. Their defense has been lights out. They'll take care of a Cardinals team that has been on a roll recently, but the Saints are just all around a better team.
Moving on to our next game, we got the Bengals at the Rams. Okay, come on. Poor Bengals. I feel kind of bad for them at this point. They had high hopes last year. They fell off. They had high hopes this year. You predicted them to win a number of games. That's probably why you were last. Unfortunately,
I'm tied for last.
You're tied for last?
Yeah, I think so.
I have not looked at the
Rip
rankings.
Jacob.
Rip Jacob. Yeah, I feel bad. Is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I got the Rams winning. I don't know. Like, I watched the Rams Falcons game last week, and at the beginning, I was like, yikes, the Rams are barely beating the Falcons. And then they pulled it off. Like, they got the motor going in the second half.
Yeah.
So that was a relief to at least see. I was like, oof, this team must really have fallen off then. But yeah, no way the Bengals are going to be able to do anything. I got the Rams winning.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams as well in this one. Last week, I picked the Bengals in an upset over the Jags because, I was thinking this is the week where they're finally going to, figure some things out. The Jags team's a little shaky. Yeah, Gardner Minshew's good sometimes, but he's not good all the time. And I was thinking the Bengals could probably win it. But you know what? I made fun of Jacob for picking the Bengals a lot of times. And then I picked them and they lost. And I remembered why I made fun of him so many times for picking the Bengals. So I just have to pick the Rams.
Bengals have lost a couple games by 3 points.
Yeah.
And this game was decided by double digits. So I think this was one of the more blowout type of ones, especially because of Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
There's nothing he can do in the second half. Whereas in the second half in most games, he's been averaging 150 yards and a couple touchdowns. In this game though against the Rams, I think we might see more of the same, where it's 20-something to 3 at halftime. The Bengals are down big. Andy Dalton's gonna do something in the second half in garbage time. But the Rams, especially with Todd Gurley coming back now, that Rams team's looking really good. They'll be at home and they're gonna win this game against a winless Bengals team.
I guess the Bengals going to want to play 60 minutes of football because they get really close and then they just fall off.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The Bengals.
The Bengals, you're Bengals for a reason. Okay, with that being said, moving on to the Eagles at the Bills. I got the Bills winning. I know, Jacob, you're not so high on the Bills. You predicted them to win once, though, didn't you? And did they win?
Against the Dolphins.
Against the Dolphins. The Bills' offense isn't that good, let's be honest here. They're pretty mediocre. I think their defense is a good job of covering up for them, though, the mediocrity on offense.
Yeah.
I just don't think... Josh Allen, he's okay, don't get me wrong. Moments he has a time where he runs for a touchdown where everybody's oh my god. And in the moments he throws interception and you're geez, why is he your quarterback? But yeah, no, I don't think the Eagles are gonna be able to do much. They talk all that smack going to Dallas and oh yeah, we're gonna win. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot and then they got absolutely destroyed in it. No comment there from them. I just think their adrenaline's going to be way down. Meanwhile, the Bills are fresh off a win against the Dolphins. I think they're going to keep their momentum going. Bills by a lot.
Yeah, to disagree with Peter's remarks on the Bills' offense, I think the Bills' offense is actually developing quite nice. Maybe not as fast as they would like, but I think it's going in the right way. Their defense is pretty good. Regardless of what you saw last week versus the Dolphins, I don't think they were ready for Fitzmagic, a quarterback who's actually trying to win them a game.
I don't know.
So, I believe the Bills are actually a really good team. The Eagles, while they are a really good team too, they just did not look like themselves last week, and I don't feel like I can trust picking them this week. So I'm taking the Bills.
Last 2 weeks, the Eagles have gotten blown out by Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, and then by Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Two of the teams that there are a lot of people that say, oh, Kirk Cousins is, he's made fun of all the time for such a big contract and not performing up to his standards. Dak Prescott, same thing with him and the Cowboys. So now the Eagles here have a chance to prove against a 5-1, 6-1 team in the Bills that barely came away against the Dolphins last week because they got the onside kick and returned it for a touchdown. Before that, it was 24-21. And even before that, the Dolphins had the lead for a lot of that game, which is unheard of because the Dolphins are normally down by like
Mhm.
20 right away. So this Bills team, they've got to figure stuff out. I don't think that offense is very good. That defense has shown promise, but I think Carson Wentz and that defense is going to bounce back this week, and they're going to get the win on the road. And by the way, it's our first game without a clean sweep. First game without a clean sweep that not all of us agree on.
Yeah, to quickly add on your Kirk Cousins note that you had earlier, currently is leading the league in passer rating right now, 114.
Wow.
Got the Chargers at the Bears. Both teams suffered losses last week. Pretty tragic for both teams. The Chargers more than the Bears because the Bears didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know how to play football last week. Yeah, the Chargers come to Soldier Field. I think the Bears might. I mean, it depends really how this week goes for them in terms of like practicing and whatnot. I think they're looking like the better team right now. Personally, the Chargers, they got issues. Like I don't know about this one for them anyway. Like this year has not been your year. Melvin Gordon fumbling on the 1 yard line, making really dumb decisions with like in terms of trying to score and whatnot. I got the Bears winning.
Yeah, I have the Bears winning this week as well. I think last week was a very unfortunate week for the Bears. I don't think that they played as well as as I feel like I know they can. Mitchell Trubisky certainly isn't a great quarterback, but I think he's better than what most people say. It was by far his worst week, but everybody's gonna ride that bandwagon of how terrible of a quarterback he is. Just let him do his thing, let him figure some things out, and he'll lead the Bears to a win over the Chargers.
Wasn't it you who said he might win MVP like next year or something?
Dude, 2020 MVP, he's gonna lead the Bears to the best winning record
That's funny.
this season.
That's funny.
Dude, this guy's a Packers fan. The way he talks about Trubisky makes me think that he's like a Bears fan sometimes.
Dude, I just don't like to rip on the guy. No, I don't think he deserves it. It's not his fault. He was picked second overall. That's not his fault. All this pressure isn't his fault. Just let him do his thing.
Yeah, but they've given him plenty of guys on the team to help him win. Allen Robinson, the good running system in Chicago, but like Matt Nagy has not been so good at using his running backs to their full potential. Obviously, you've seen the passing to running plays, and Mitchell Trubisky he was good in garbage time, scoring 2 touchdowns, but like when the game actually mattered.
Well, you can call it garbage time all you want, but I remember watching that game. The Saints definitely weren't trying to, just let time blow by. They were definitely trying to make stops, and Mitchell Trubisky was definitely starting to figure it out. They are a team that no matter how far ahead they are in points, they're going to try on every single down, and you can call it garbage time until it's maybe about a minute left on the clock. But I think the Saints defense was trying that whole time.
But like the thing is, there's 4 minutes left, and the game at that point had already really been sealed.
There was 15 minutes left in the fourth quarter when they started making some plays. They were just down by so much that no matter how many plays they made, it wouldn't matter.
I don't know, but like if you had like an actual like guy who probably knew how to play quarterback, they would have been good that whole game. I don't think like garbage time doesn't really make you a good quarterback. If like they've just kind of given up.
But Mitch Trubisky's still good enough to beat the Chargers?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
because I don't think so. I think that Trubisky right now is the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't think one can be named worse. I think the Chargers are going to win this week because the Chargers have come so close so many times to winning a lot of these football games, and they have a good team. Austin Eckler, Hunter Henry, Keenan Allen, he's so close to getting all those touchdowns. He just can't get him. Melvin Gordon, I don't know what's wrong with him. Maybe he's just trying to have the Chargers lose the game on purpose because he's salty about them not giving him his money. So he was embarrassed during his holdout, which no one cared about because Melvin Gordon obviously wasn't needed on the team. Eckler played better. Gordon lost them the game. Rivers has still played well. That offensive line's pretty good. The defense is pretty good. I mean, there's not many things wrong with the Chargers. It's just that they can't win those close games. They get unlucky and they lose down the stretch against the Bears team who have an incompetent quarterback right now that cannot win teams games.
Nobody called him incompetent 2 weeks ago.
And loses. I called them that since the beginning of the season. I think the Bears offense is yes, I did. I said the Bears offense is the worst offense other than the Redskins and Dolphins.
You mean the Deadskins?
You can check that in the other Redzone and Endzone videos. The Bears offense is atrocious. They are not going to beat the Chargers this week, and you're going to hear a lot of boos at Soldier Field this weekend, and you're going to hear a lot of chants for Chase Daniel or for any trade to go down so that Trubisky is off the field.
All right, I guess we'll see.
We got the Giants at the Lions. I got the Lions winning this one. The Lions are finally going to be tired of losing, and they're going to want to win a game. Obviously, some of the losses have not been their fault. There's been claims of like the refs and whatnot. And then last week when the Vikings came, a very interesting game to watch. I just think that the Lions are going to win this one. They're going to get back on their feet, and then I just think they're going to beat the Giants. I think the Giants don't really have anybody good in their team besides Saquon. And if you put a good run defense on him, he's not going to be able to do much.
Well, I'm also taking the Lions in this one. They have a good defense. They have a good offense. The Giants have a rebuilding offense and an okay defense, but not okay enough to outlast that Lions offense.
I think the Lions are an above-average team. It's just, they're unlucky because they have to play in the NFC. The last two games they had to go up against the Packers and the Vikings, two really good teams. And now that they have the chance to go against a bottom feeder in the NFC, the Giants, I think the Lions are going to be able to win that game. If the Cardinals were able to do it last week, I'm sure the Lions can. And you look at this Lions team, okay, say they were in like the AFC, I think they're a playoff team. In the NFC, it's going to be tough because they're playing in the hardest division in the NFL. So we'll see how that goes. But I think the Lions have got it this week against the Giants at home.
Okay, no, I definitely agree with you on that one. Okay, moving on, we got the Jets at the Jaguars. I got the Jaguars winning. Obviously, the Jets, they played the Patriots. Didn't go too well for them, and Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts.
Yikes.
I got the Jags winning. Gardner Minshew, Minshew Mania, they coming out. I definitely think that the Jags are just going to put up more points than the Jets. The Jets they're a broken down team, like spiritually. I just don't think they're going to be able to get it done. I got the Jaguars winning.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jaguars as well in this one, although I'm not as far down on the Jets as Peter is. But Gardner Minshew's been, he's been playing well all season. He's got a pretty decent defense. And, the Jets, their offensive line definitely has some issues. They aren't helping out Sam Darnold. I mean, he's not helping them by constantly throwing off his back foot, but it would help if every once in a while the right guard would actually pick up the linebacker that's coming in. So I'm taking the Jags.
I think it's going to be super close this week between these two teams. I really had a hard time deciding of who I was going to pick this week. But the fact that Andy Dalton had his worst game of the year against the Jags defense, the Saints were barely able to get it going against that Jags defense. I just don't see the Jets offense doing too much this week. They'll do their best, but I think the Jags are going to edge them out by like a touchdown. It's going to be close, but I got the Jags winning at home. Gardner Minshew might be one of his last games because Nick Foles is coming back probably week 11.
Moving on, we got the Panthers at the 49ers. I got the Niners winning. I know they scored only 9 points against the Redskins, but those field conditions were atrocious. Oh my gosh. Mud Bowl. They're on that streak, being undefeated. They're at home. The Panthers are coming in. The Panthers are they're doing okay this year. I've predicted a couple of upsets, and they've actually upset their opponents, which is kind of interesting. But I got the 49ers winning. I just think that their offense is going to click, their defense is going to click, and sorry, Panthers, you're going to lose this one.
Yeah, I'm taking the 49ers in this one too. The Panthers are looking pretty strong this year. Christian McCaffrey really kind of carrying them with Kyle Allen doing some average quarterback play to help that as well. But the 49ers defense is going to shut down Christian McCaffrey, and Kyle Allen is not going to know what to do. Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously experienced, will have a fun time.
Panthers and the 49ers, I think it's going to be another close game. The Panthers are undefeated with Kyle Allen at quarterback. Some are saying that Cam Newton's basically being benched because the Panthers, Ron Rivera is saying that Cam Newton's not healthy and that's why Kyle Allen's the starter, but there are speculations that Cam Newton is healthy and that he might be being benched. I do think Cam Newton will come back probably next week or the week after. I don't think he's going to be benched for Kyle Allen because, in all honesty, Kyle Allen hasn't played that well. It's been Christian McCaffrey playing at an MVP level from that running back position. And if he can do that, this Panthers team can go a long way. But he's going to face a defensive line with all these first-round picks in Solomon Thomas, Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa from this year. And they still got in the linebacker core Quan Alexander and D Ford. I know it's like my walking spreadsheet of NFL players. But I'm sorry, those 5 players are the reason why this team is undefeated, and they're going to come through again. Jimmy G is going to lead the way on offense. Kyle Shanahan calling the plays. 49ers team.
Especially with that pickup of Emmanuel Sanders to kind of help them at the receiver core.
Yeah, and that trade. So everything is just going right along right now for the 49ers, and the Panthers are going to have a tough time because Kyle Allen's going to have to step up and play at an above average level, and I don't think he can do that. He's a backup for a reason, and I don't think he's going to be able to win this game. He's going to take his first loss of the year on the road.
We got the Raiders at the Texans. The Raiders coming off from a very devastating loss to the Packers. I definitely got the Texans winning. I know they lost to the Colts, so that might have put their momentum down a little bit, but come on, you're facing the Raiders. That shouldn't be a very hard team to beat. I definitely got them getting back on their grind, I think it would definitely be a very good game to watch, as the Raiders will try to do all they can, but I just got the Texans winning.
Yeah, I have the Texans winning as well. The Raiders aren't, they're not that bad, although Derek Carr making the same mistake years later. I mean, if you look at some of the tape from 2 years ago in 2017, he literally did the exact same thing on the exact same side of the field where he tries to make some magic and then he just fumbles it into the end zone. It was, you can watch the clip side by side. It's literally the same dive, the ball falls out the same way. It's just,
he has to use 2 hands.
If
both hands.
he's making mistakes like that, I don't think he can beat a team like the Texans and Deshaun Watson's just too athletic, too good of a player to really lose to a defense as bad as the Raiders.
I think the Raiders are a team where the problem isn't Derek Carr. I think their problem this week is going to be that more than half of their offensive line is banged up in practice. So we'll see how that goes. And then you also have Josh Jacobs and Tyrell Williams in question for this week again. Tyrell Williams missed the last 2 weeks, but he should be back soon. Josh Jacobs had to leave the game against the Packers, came back, but he's still he wasn't seen at practice on Thursday. So we'll see what his status is come Sunday. But with all those injuries on the Raiders offense and that defense looking like the worst in the league, letting Rodgers throw for like 5 touchdowns, run for another, they just got demolished. Like a lot of bad plays by that Raiders defense where their offense kept them in that game. But against the Texans offense, if that Raiders defense can't stop them, they can't win this game.
Yeah. We got the Browns and the Patriots. Yikes is all I gotta say. I got the Patriots winning. The Browns, everybody was definitely on bandwagon this year. They're like, yeah, they're going 16-0, but making the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl. Like, slow your roll, kids, okay? The Browns, they're not looking like that good of a team this year. Obviously, they have some issues that they have to figure out. They haven't really, their offense has not really been clicking, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a lot of times where they're not on the same page and Baker Mayfield overthrows them or throws an interception or incomplete pass. Sometimes you see magic with OBJ and Jarvis Landry. Speaking of Jarvis Landry, he just now had like the press conference today saying we're going to come into New England and we're going to win. Sounds a lot like the Eagles head coach saying that they're going to win in Dallas and Cleveland didn't. So maybe that would give the Patriots some fire to prove them wrong, which would be interesting. I definitely think it would be a good game though. to watch personally. But yeah, got Patriots winning.
I think the problem with the Browns lies within the coaching. They have so much talent, but they just can't seem to find a way to just glue it all together and make a bunch of plays. So for that reason, Patriots just a very steady team, doing what they're doing, chugging along, take the dub.
Before I say why I have the Patriots winning, let me just say that if any team this year can beat the Patriots so far, it's definitely going to be this Browns team. Baker Mayfield and that offense, they can change the course of a game and how it goes. That they really had a good game against the Seahawks. Now they had a bye. They're going to come into Foxborough now, and they're going to be able to put on a show and just have all those players make plays. They can run out that score if they really want to. But the fact of the matter is they have to play together. They have to play as a team. And for me, it was just too risky to take the Browns. I can totally see them winning. I can totally see the Browns coming to Foxborough and even blowing the Patriots out. It's not out of the question. The Browns team can do it. But I think the more likely thing is that the leader in interceptions is going to go up there and play the defense who leads the NFL in interceptions and throw a lot of them. Because this year the Patriots have 18 interceptions. Last year, there were only two teams that had more than 18 interceptions for the entire year, and the Patriots have done this in 7 weeks. This is insane what the Patriots have been doing on defense. So either the Browns break this streak or the Patriots continue to just have this defensive domination just everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's something that we have not seen in a long time. Yes, the Patriots have been playing bad teams, but this is just something that doesn't happen that the Patriots are doing.
Packers traveling to Arrowhead Stadium to take on a Patrick Mahomes Chiefs. I definitely think that the Packers, without Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs, they probably won't be able to accomplish very much in offense. Obviously, you can have faith in their backup, but that's only going to get you so far, I guess. Matt Moore, yeah, against the Packers defense has been looking very decent. Obviously, the last week when they played the Raiders, the defense didn't look too good, but then they definitely came up at the end of the game. I think they were very confident going in, and then they realized, oh crap, the Raiders actually do have a semi-decent offense, and they definitely had to step it up. But yeah, without Patrick Mahomes, I don't see the Chiefs being able to do much. They're saying that he might be ready for this game, which is not a good idea to rush him in. But they're playing the Bill Belichick answer here and saying that they don't know if he'll be ready or not, or they're to keep the defense guessing. But yeah, I got the Packers fresh off that hot streak. Rodgers throwing for 5 touchdowns, rushing for 1 more, getting 6 touchdowns. I got that carrying in to Arrowhead, and I got the Packers winning.
All right, I'm taking the Packers in this one. If the Colts and the Texans can beat the Chiefs and the Lions can almost beat the Chiefs, then I definitely think the Packers can beat the Chiefs with or without Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh, you said it right there.
Dang. So, it's just that simple.
The Packers are going to blow through that Kansas City excuse of a defense, and Aaron Rodgers is going to have another great week. That offense for the Chiefs, we'll see how they do. With Moore at quarterback, we'll see if they use LaShawn McCoy a little bit more like they did last week. He or Damian Williams is going to have a pretty big role in that offense because Matt Moore is not going to be able to drop back a ton of times and beat the Packers. So they're going to have to feature those backs in the game. They're going to have to feature Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. They're just going to have to find other ways to score more than Aaron Rodgers. And I don't think Matt Moore is going to be able to do that with the rest of just his pieces he's got with him. So I got the Packers winning on the road in this one.
Anyway, moving on. This is a primetime game. The Dolphins at the Steelers. This is
prime.
This is a primetime game.
Monday Night Football. Booger McFarland and Joe Tessitore.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Dolphins. You know what? Here I give them this, Jacob. They've definitely been improving.
Week to week.
Yeah. 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 I mean, yeah. On offense, they've definitely doing stuff. I mean, come on, the Bills barely beat them if it wasn't for like the onside kick touchdown, which that's kind of scary to see. But I think definitely they maybe have a chance. The Steelers, they're looking okay, even if they're third string quarterback though. I definitely think the Steelers should probably get something going. You know, they still got Juju, and the Dolphins don't really got anybody good at on defense to really stop
Hopefully Xavier Howard plays for once.
the receiving threat. Maybe Xavier Howard is trying to get traded.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Yikes, that would suck.
That would. But no, yeah, I got the Steelers winning. Either it's going to be a super close game, the Dolphins will put up some fight, or it will be a blowout.
Whether or not the Steelers play Duck Hodges or Rudolph the Red-Nosed quarterback, they're taking the win. TJ Watt and everybody else on their defense. I'm not the walking spreadsheet of lineups, but everybody else on that defense is just going to shut down Fitzmagic. It's a pretty easy dub for them.
Any comments?
Steelers.
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 Alrighty. Well, that would do it for this week's Week 8 predictions, Redzone to Endzone. I was your host, Peter Belonic. This was Aaron. This was Jacob. Please don't forget to like our new post on Instagram. Obviously, subscribe if you're new. We would hate for you to miss any of the new videos. Hit the bell, obviously, so you get notified every time we make a new video. Comment down below what you'd like to see us post more videos of. Obviously, the predictions. People want more debates, so we'll probably do more of those in the future.
Yeah.
Those are kind of funny.
Getting it done.
Not gonna lie.
Right here.
Yeah.
Where he's going to put it.
The sponsor of this video, we wish.
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Ohio State sponsored this video.
Yeah, rep it, boys.
Yeah,
Yes.
they really want Aaron to go to the school because of his one-handed backhand, and he's really swole now too.
Yeah, the triceps.
Especially the triceps.
Triceps. Ooh, check the tries. Check the tries.
His triceps, you know, they're just getting so buff that when he hits a volleyball, it just, you know, it breaks through walls.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, better watch out, TJ.
Wow. He'll break your triceps. Come on.
Dang. Impressive. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we'll see you guys next week for Week 9 predictions. Yeah. Honestly, this week it was easy to make a lot of these games. Like some of the games, obviously, they were close.
A lot of clean sweeps this week.
A lot of clean sweeps.
A lot of queens.
Yeah, me and Aaron had practically the same predictions.
Exactly the same.
Aaron, what did you do?
Whoa. What
Well,
are you talking about?
I'm
Ooh,
accused.
that's the strat. Just, you know, copy off Peter's.
Yeah, exactly.
Peter
Copy
does
off
so
Peter,
well.
I happen to have made the spreadsheet and made.
Well, I did it first. I did.
Nah, I already had.
We can check the
I
edit history.
had
Okay?
my picks.